Welcome to Try It On, the space where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins. I'm Tiffany O'Harn, holistic healer, nervous system guide, and speaker. And today we're talking about love, but not the love on the Hallmark card, not the love in the movies, the real thing, and why most of us have never actually experienced it. Don't take my word for it. Try it on. Before we dive in, if you've been feeling reactive, overwhelmed, or stuck in cycles you can't seem to break, from reaction to response, the reset was made for you. It's a 60-minute workshop with a 528 hertz guided meditation that I made and a 432 hertz frequency track. It's everything you need to regulate your nervous system in real time. It's $47. The link is in the bio. Now, let's talk about love. We have been taught a version of love that is rooted in fear. You complete me. There was a whole movie. Do you remember? You complete me. You're the missing piece to my puzzle. I would give my life for you. We put it on cards. We make movies about it. We call it romance. But underneath all of it, it is fear dressed up as love. And we have been living from that place for most of our lives. The love that we feel have, whatever you proclaim it to be, it has originated through you from your own belief systems, from your thoughts, from your opinions. And largely how we feel about love is how we were shown it, largely from our parents. And if they were coming from fear-based love, thus we've inherited that without thinking, without taking time to really understand what that was. And as a personal reference, from myself, I remember being very, very young and watching adults and really witnessing that what they say is love, it didn't feel that way to me. And it wasn't that I didn't think anybody loved me. That's not really what it was. But I feel like throughout my life, I've somewhat been on a quest to really understand love. And throughout my journey, I've continued to build upon the framework that I was never given and perhaps properly showed, but that is not a negative to anyone around me, right? This is just a learning. This is my journey. And, with that, it comes this full expression of what love really is. And we walk towards it more and more every day. And I trust that that's why you're listening to this right now. And so just try it on. Everything that I say is a direct invitation for you to try it on. Or else really, what's the point? We can keep listening to all of this stuff over and over again, reading books, taking courses. But if we don't actually try it on, which is what I'm offering you now, we'll never know. And so I really, I read the Kabbalion and really understanding like there's such a polarity in life for everything. Like at some point, light becomes dark and dark becomes light, right? There's also a polarity between fear and love. And fear and love, they're not just emotions, they're actual states. They're states within us. And they cannot exist in the same space at the same time. Because when we are in fear, we cannot truly love. Because we attach and we grasp, we cling, we need, and we control. But we cannot love, not fully, not freely, not expansively, because of the fear-based state. And love requires safety within. And fear is the absolute absence of safety. And that's how we learned to love from fear. We didn't choose it. We didn't wake up one morning and think, well, this is now how I'm going to learn to love. We learned it. We learned it from our parents, as I was saying before. Our parents are the biggest ones for this. They show us what love is and what love is not. And so we've learned it from our parents. We've learned it from our culture. We've learned it from religion. We've learned it from every Hallmark card, every Hallmark movie, every rom-com, romantic comedy. We've learned it through all of these television programmings, through social media, that told us love is something we find outside of ourselves, that we are incomplete without it, and that we need somebody to make us whole. And so what do? We go looking, right? For that person who would complete us, for that relationship that would really save us inside, and for the love that would somehow make us feel enough. And every time we've loved from that place, we've loved from fear. We've loved from fear. Love is not control. Love is not gripping. It's not fear. Love is pure. And it's within us. It's within you right now. We only need to find that safety within it. And so, love from fear, it looks like needing constant reassurance. It's jealousy. It's control. Control is such a huge one in this. It's staying when you should go or leaving before they can love you or leave you, really, right? How many times have we left something purely based on fear? Because we don't actually want to be seen. We don't actually want to be loved. We think that we do, but do you? Do you really want to be loved? Because requiring that means that you have to see yourself. And that's where the disconnect is. It's not through somebody else. You know, you might try to change yourself to keep someone close. People pleasing. People pleasing is huge. Trying to please people so that they do love you. Make yourself of value so they love you. And what happens is we question every love that comes toward us because what we're giving is fear-based. And so therefore, what we're receiving, we are internalizing in a fearful state as well, because this is all a state. You know, when it comes to the love that we receive, you might question, do they really mean it? How long will it last? What do they want from me? At some point, this will end. And yes, that is true. Every relationship will end. Every relationship, it's not even an end. It's just it's a pause, right? I believe that we're all connected. We are all deeply connected, especially those that are close to us. And so with that, if we think about that, is there ever really an end? Or is it a shift? And so every relationship will shift. And so asking yourself all of these questions, you're projecting that on to that other person because it's all fear within you. Because that is not receiving love. It's the fear of you unable to let love in. And it's rampant through all of our relationships. Your children need your love, not your fear. And we say this so passionately, don't you? I'm sure you've said it if you have a child too. I would give up my life for my child or my children. I understand that. I feel that. But that is not what our children need. What our children need is for us to love ourselves, to stay true to who we are, to model what it looks like to love from wholeness instead of fear. Because a love that is codependent, a love rooted in fear, is not freedom for them. It's a template that they will carry into every relationship they build. Think about it. Go on any social media right now and look at somebody who has a child, and it's probably saying something like, stop growing. This is happening too fast. You complete me. I love you the most. I love you so much, right? Now, first of all, we don't need to tell the world we love our children. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or bad or good. That's not what I'm saying. But the real essence of this is that we say that we do these things for our children, but are we willing to actually change? Are we willing to actually step inside of ourselves to really look at the love that we have within? Because that's is where this is all coming from. This is where it all originates from. And so even the love that we feel for our children is fear and attached based. And then what are we doing? We're perpetuating that onto them. And thus, they will continue to have these similar relationships that mirror their parents. That's what this is all about. And so it takes someone like you right now listening to this to go, yeah, yes, that's right. It's not that I need to love others more. It's I need to love myself first. First. Then we have more space to love our children unconditionally, to love our partners unconditionally, because we don't have conditional love within ourselves. Because everything is a mirror towards us. Everything is, we've designed it, we've created it, we've curated this life. People don't complete us. No one completes you. Not your partner, not your children, not your best friend. People don't make us better, but they can inspire us when we are open enough to receive it. When we are whole enough to let them be exactly who they are without needing them to be different, without gripping, without fearing the end, without making their existence responsible for our okayness. That is love. And that is what becomes possible when we stop loving from fear. So much of our love is about changing people. You can watch it on any Netflix program, on the TV, whatever it may be. If you watch those relationships, they are fear-based. That someone else needs to change for them, but that's never the case. And this is why we live in this toxic culture, because we are so misaligned with what love is. It is all within us. It is not for somebody else to correct. It is not for somebody else to do. Love that comes from the total allowance of someone else to be exactly who they are without your need to change them, that means that you're also receiving that. You have the capacity within you, the state within you to receive that. Imagine what that can feel like. Imagine the possibilities of that love within inside of you that everyone else can feel. It's not judgmental. It's not controlling. It's not gripping. It's not fear-based. It's actual pure love. And love is the highest vibration that we can possibly feel. Have you been in the presence of somebody who's truly loving? You won't forget that because their energy is so radiant. They're not there to change you. They're there to see you as you are in that exact moment and love you as you are. And this is possible when we stop loving from fear. It is a state. Our nervous system is so fearful of love because that's what we've been shown. That's what we have interpreted. That is our belief systems within what love is. Have you ever thought to yourself what love is and what love is not? And I really, really ask you to see it within yourself first, not through somebody else, not what somebody else is showing you. Because it's the state within you that allows you to receive it from the outside. It's not them first, then you. And so try this on. It's time we reimagine, redefine what love truly is. And I apologize for this background noise. I have bunnies here and they are just going crazy right now. They apparently love this topic. If this is landing for you, this is exactly what we work on from reaction to response, the reset, because you cannot love freely from a dysregulated nervous system. And the reset gives you the tools to regulate so you can show up in your relationships from wholeness instead of fear. It's a 60-minute workshop with a 528 guided meditation that opens up your heart center. I created the meditation. And I also have accompanied 432 hertz frequency track, which is the Earth's frequency, which will help you take yourself from dysregulation to regulation, because you may not even know what that feels like, truly, wholly in the essence of what it is that I am speaking of. It's $47. Try it on. I started this probably about 4 years ago. I wanted to do, actually, it was probably 5 at this point. I wanted to do a TEDx talk about love, but it wasn't very grounded in the essence. I hadn't really journeyed enough through it to fully understand it. And I'm not saying that I fully understand it right now. I'm saying that I continue to practice it every day. But this all originated, and I'll tell you a little personal story. My father passed away back in 2011. He had a glio brain tumor, and so it was pretty hard. And in the book that I helped co-authored with some other women, I don't have it here, but it's called The Girl on the Left. And what I wrote about in my chapter of the book is love, because my father took my siblings into, he was already in the room. We went into the room with him, and he gave my other two siblings, um, sort of like that dying wish. And he looked at me and he said something so simple that I was almost a little bit in shock, and I felt a little like despondent at first. And he said to me, "Tiffany, find love." And I was like, that's interesting. And I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then I met my partner and I got married, and then I got divorced. And then, I have another partner now, and I'm remarried. And the funny thing is it gave me permission to be with my first wife. But that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant at all. When he said just find love, he was talking about love within me. And when I really, really understood that, not necessarily the meaning at that point, but the message, it sent me down this beautiful journey of love. I have a daughter now. She's going to be 10 very soon. And that love that you feel for a child is so powerful and so strong. And it can be fear-based. It can be in that control and that gripping, even for our children. Are we, how many times have you done something to try to prove to them that you love them? And then think about it, because that's what they're doing in return. And we don't do this on purpose. Our parents didn't do it either. But we need to show them, we need to show our partners, we need to show people around us that loving yourself first is not selfish. We have been taught that putting yourself first is selfish, that loving yourself more than others is an ego. But that is not true. The love you have for yourself is the only love that you can give. The love you have for yourself is the only love you can give. If your love for yourself is conditional, your love for others will be conditional. If your love for yourself is fearful, your love for others will be fearful. If your love for yourself is gripping, your love for others will grip. You cannot give what you don't have. And you cannot receive what you don't believe you deserve. You could have the most pure, loving person on the other side of you, but if you don't see yourself in that way, you won't receive it in the very essence of how it is given. Love is a state. Have you ever seen something so beautiful that it makes you want to cry? It just fills you with emotion. There's nothing you could do to change that moment, because that is love. You are receiving something in that moment with the true essence of what it is. Maybe a sunset, maybe a flower. Nature to me is one of the most loving things that we can surround ourselves with. Because think about it. If it rains, the birds don't complain. They seek their shelter. The squirrels seek shelter, right? The plants, the bees, they all know what to do. They don't resist what's happening. They just adapt. And a flower, right, doesn't close because a bee is coming to take its nectar, right? It's just giving. And that is love. That is love. And this is what real love feels like. Real love, it does not grip. It doesn't. It does not fear the end. It does not need to control. It does not require the other person to be different than they are. And I'm going to restate that because I think that that's really so important. Love, it does not fear the end. We are timeless energy. It does not fear the end. Real love allows. It allows you to be fully yourself. And it allows them to be fully themselves. It allows the relationship to be exactly what it is without needing it to be more. And that kind of love can only come from someone who has learned to love themselves that way. It's pure. It's whole. It's seeing you as you are, so beautiful and divine within you, and loving every piece of you. And when we can do that, we can love others to that same extent, which means we can receive it. We can receive it. Now think about all of your relationships. And if no one ever tried to change who you were, thus, you wouldn't do that to anybody else either, because you love yourself fully and completely. Yeah, we're going to do things. But we're coming from something in that moment that maybe we just didn't know. And we can always forgive ourselves with so much love. And this is a practice. This is not something that you're going to get perfect, but it is a practice. It's about being consistent. Can you love yourself as you are right now? Not when you're healed enough. Not when you've lost the weight. Not when you've figured it out, or not when you're further along. Right now, as you are. Every flaw, every scar, every imperfection, every unfinished part of you. The most beautiful, sovereign human being that you are, that is where love begins. It's not out there. It's not. It's in here. And so with that, let's try it on, okay? And I want you to practice this with me. Place one hand on your heart and breathe in slowly through your nose and exhale longer than the inhale. All the way out. And say out loud or within, I am enough as I am right now. I love myself as I am right now. The love I give begins here. And just breathe with that, because here's the thing. What came up? If it feels uncomfortable, it's information. And that is where the work begins. Because it is a practice. And you just have a choice. There's a choice for you to make. Do you want to be more loving? And it starts within. You do not have to love others more. You need to love yourself first. And everything around you will shift. Love yourself without conditions. And watch how your life reorganizes with so much love around you. You will see people as more loving. People will stop being a threat, because in reality, everyone around you is a threat to you unless they are performing in the way with which you desire. And if they don't, it becomes a threat to you, to your nervous system. You're just not seeing it that way. And so try this on. Listen to this again. You'll hear different things that you weren't ready to or didn't have access to at that point. You have everything within you. You're one decision, one shift from being that much more loving than you were yesterday. And it's just going to take some practice. You're already doing it. You're just doing it in resistance. You're just doing it in resistance. And so love is not something you find. It's something you return to within yourself. And when you do, when you truly step into the love that you are, everything around you shifts. Don't believe me, try it on, because your relationships shift. Your children will feel it. Your pets will feel it. The love you receive becomes something you can actually let in, because you finally believe you deserve it. And that's not a small thing. That is everything. You deserve to be loved. 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 Say this with me right now. I love you. 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 Anytime a thought floats across that says otherwise, send it love. Because that is everything. And if this resonated, share it with someone who needs it. Follow along, subscribe. Let me know you're here. This is the work we do here. And if you're ready to regulate your nervous system so love can actually land, from reaction to response, the reset is live. Again, 60-minute workshop. I curated a 528 hertz guided meditation to help open up your heart center. Also with the 432 hertz frequency track. It's $47. The link is in the bio. And if you don't believe me, try it on. This is Try It On, where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins within. Take this into your life, not as something to believe, as something to try. And I'll leave you with this. You do not need to love others more. You need to love yourself first.